Hello, welcome to Secret Zone. Subscribe and turn on notifications for stories you won't forget. I always believed I knew my wife, Maya, completely. She was kind, creative, the kind of woman who could light up a room just by walking in. And I trusted her with everything in my heart. My home, our kids, Noah and Lily. Our life in the quiet suburbs near Portland felt safe, ordinary, perfect in its own way. I spent my days in my small workshop restoring old furniture, surrounded by the smell of wood and varnish, while Maya taught art at the local school, always talking excitedly about her students' ideas and projects. For years, everything seemed simple, calm, normal. But lately, subtle changes began to creep in. A smile that didn't reach her eyes, texts left unanswered, late nights on her phone when she should have been sleeping. I told myself it was stress, just the usual busy life catching up, but a small voice inside me whispered that something wasn't right. I tried to ignore it, to convince myself I was overthinking. But that Saturday, when she told me she was going out for coffee with her friend Sophie and a quick visit to a gallery downtown, that small doubt turned into annoying unease I couldn't shake. There was something rehearsed in the way she said it, something in her tone that made my gut tighten. I kissed her on the cheek as she left, trying to smile, pretending I believed her. But as I watched her drive away, I felt it the first real hint that my life, the life I thought was secure, might be about to crumble. I knew I didn't want to be the paranoid husband, the one who spies on his own wife, but a part of me couldn't let it go. That small voice that had been whispering warnings all week grew louder, and I realized that one ordinary afternoon could become the day everything I trusted, everything I loved, would be put to the ultimate test. I always thought I knew Maya completely. She was warm, kind, and creative, the kind of woman who could make an entire room feel alive without trying. Our life in the quiet Portland suburb was peaceful, predictable, perfect. So I believed. I spent my days restoring old furniture in my small workshop, and she taught art at the local school. For years, it felt simple, happy, safe. But lately, subtle things began to creep in, things I couldn't ignore. Texts left unanswered, late nights scrolling on her phone, small distracted smiles. I convinced myself it was stress, just a rough patch, but a small voice inside me whispered that something was wrong. That Saturday, she told me she was going out for coffee with her friend Sophie in a gallery visit. Her tone sounded practiced, like she'd rehearsed it. I kissed her goodbye, forcing myself to smile, but my gut tightened. I tried to shake it off. I didn't want to be the paranoid husband, following my own wife, but curiosity, fear, and annoying unease pushed me to grab my keys. I told myself I would see her at the cafe, laughing with Sophie, and all of this would feel ridiculous. But as I followed her, my heart sank. She didn't drive toward the city. Instead, she turned into a quiet residential neighborhood, away from where she said she'd be. My hands gripped the steering wheel harder. Her car slowed, careful, deliberate. I parked a few houses down, frozen, unsure of what I would find. Maya stepped out, but she wasn't dressed for a casual coffee outing. Her hair was styled, her makeup flawless, and her dress hugged her in a way that made it impossible to look away. She glanced around nervously, as if checking to see if anyone was watching, and then walked to a house. The door opened before she knocked. A man I didn't recognize stood there, smiling like he owned the world. He pulled her inside, and the door shut behind them. I sat there, shaking, my hands white on the wheel. He felt frozen, angry, humiliated, heartbroken, all at once. I knew I had a decision. Leave and pretend I hadn't seen anything, or face it. My fingers hovered over my phone. I dialed her number. My thumb trembled over the call button. Every second felt endless. When Maya answered, her voice was calm. Sweet, too calm. "Hey, Daniel, what's up?" she asked. I forced myself to steady my voice, hiding the anger, panic, and heartbreak boiling inside. "Where are you?" I asked. "I told you, I'm with Sophie," she replied instantly. "We're at the gallery downtown. You'd love it, Daniel." Her lie was smooth, rehearsed. I glanced at the house again. Through the curtain, I could see a man's shadow moving across the room. My chest tightened. "That's funny," I said, my voice trembling, "because I'm sitting outside a house on Maple Street, and I just saw you walk in." Silence. Then I heard a door open inside. Muffled voices. Panic colored her voice. Danya. It's not what you think. I can explain. Explain what? I snapped. That. You lied? That you're not with Sophie, but with some men I've never met. Go ahead. I'm listening, she stammered, pleaded, but I wasn't backing down. I hung up. My hands shook. My chest burned with betrayal. I watched the door, trying to calm my thoughts, but my mind raced. Anger, humiliation, heartbreak, it all collided. I'd spent years building a life with her, raising Noah and Lily together, sharing dreams, creating a home. And now, in a single afternoon, that world was crumbling. But I couldn't let this moment pass without answers. I had to know everything. Who was he? How long had this been happening? And most importantly, why? I waited until nightfall, driving home in silence, every thought twisting like a knife in my chest. Once home, I accessed the shared phone account, checking call logs, messages, and recent expenses. Lucas's name appeared far too many times. Hotel payments, late-night messages, and small gifts, all evidence of months of deception. My stomach churned as I realized the depth of her lies. I could no longer see the woman I had trusted for years. She had been living a secret life, hiding it from me and the kids. Later, I confronted Maya at home. Her tears were genuine, her confession raw. She explained how it started innocently, with small texts, fleeting attention, and the thrill of feeling noticed again. It had escalated into something neither of us imagined, something that crossed the boundaries of trust and marriage. She admitted it fully. Lucas had been her emotional and physical escape for months. I listened, rage and sorrow mixing, my mind flashing to the family photos on the wall, to Noah and Lily laughing unaware in their rooms. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a fracture in the foundation of our home. Yet, amid the devastation, I saw remorse in her eyes, a desire to fix what she had broken. She didn't ask for forgiveness, but she promised honesty and commitment to rebuild, even if it was slow and painful. For the first time, I understood that confronting her was only the beginning. Rebuilding trust would take every ounce of patience, effort, and courage I had left. The following weeks were tense, heavy, filled with therapy sessions, difficult conversations, and silent meals. Maya cut off all contact with Lucas and faced her own mistakes honestly. I focused on the kids, on work, and on regaining my own sense of control. Slowly, a fragile peace returned. We laughed again. Small moments at first, Maya helping Lily with homework, Noah showing me a drawing. The warmth in the home began to return. Those scars remained, reminders of what had been broken. Forgiveness didn't come instantly, and trust didn't rebuild overnight. But effort and accountability began to mend the fractures. One evening, we sat outside as the sun set. The kids inside, playing. Maya didn't ask for forgiveness. She simply admitted her guilt, showing a commitment to change. I didn't promise her anything, but I held her hand, silently acknowledging our shared choice to try, to fight for the family we built, to create a more honest future. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't like before, but it was real. And for the first time in months, I believed that maybe, just maybe, we could survive this. That perhaps some betrayals don't end a marriage, they strengthen it, if both are willing to face the truth. We weren't healed completely, but the path ahead was clear. Honesty, effort, and the fragile, beautiful hope that love could endure even after everything. As the days turned into weeks, I realized that life doesn't always give you neat endings. Maya and I weren't magically healed, but the lies had been confronted, the truth laid bare. And for the first time in months, there was a fragile sense of hope between us. The kids laughed again, small moments of joy returning to our home, and I saw glimpses of the woman I had loved, the one who could still care, still try, still be honest. Trust wouldn't rebuild overnight, and some scars would remain forever. But I understood something important. Betrayal doesn't always destroy. Sometimes it forces you to face reality, to fight harder, and to value honesty above all. Sitting there that evening, watching the sunset through the quiet streets of our neighborhood, I finally felt a strange calm. I couldn't promise that the future would be perfect, or that nothing could ever shake us again. But I knew this: we had survived the moment that could have ended everything, and we had chosen to try, to rebuild, to face life together, truthfully, one step at a time. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. If you enjoy hidden truths, emotional stories, and secrets people never talk about, subscribe to Secret Zone. Every story here reveals something shocking. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and theories in the comments section below. Take care and see you in the next video.